Take a look at what Sunday looks like on CBS. And the one that stands out, Jacqueline, Patriots at Bucks. You like that?
I'm going to be watching the Jags and the Texans because despite what you said earlier, I am a Jags fan. I'm not a Bucks fan.
But you cheered for the Bengals. Here's a look at the easiest schedules to date and remaining. And look who's on top of both. The Patriots have had the easiest schedule, and they have the easiest remaining schedule. They get to play the Jets twice. That's part of the reason. Patriots unbeaten on the road this season. They'll look to get to 5-0 away from home Sunday in Tampa. Drake May, Baker Mayfield, head-to-head as two of the top contenders for the MVP award this season. Let's bring in former Patriot Damien Harris along with American Patriot Emory Hunt. Damien, I'll start with you. Your rookie season, you played with Tom Brady. Drake May is doing things completion percentage-wise that Brady never did. How has he been so precise and still been able to stretch the ball vertically down the field?
Well, it's Josh McDaniels. It's the offensive system that Josh McDaniels runs. It's the expectation that he has of his quarterbacks to think at a high level, to get the ball out at a high level. And then when you add the emergence of guys like Kayshon Boutte, Pop Douglas has finally popped onto the scene. Stephon Diggs has been absolutely instrumental as a player, but more so as a leader and as a veteran guy to give Drake May the confidence to just go out and be himself. So Drake May has all the tools at his disposal. He's got a really good offensive line that has played well. His receivers are stepping up. I mean, defensively, the Patriots are playing so well. Again, that takes some of the pressure off of Drake May's shoulders. And so he just gets to go out there and deliver good footballs and just play on time, play on rhythm, and always be ahead of schedule. That's the mentality of this New England Patriots offense right now and the team as a whole, but it starts with Drake May. He's taken ownership of it. He's taken accountability. He's won over the locker room, and he's just playing at a level that's undeniable right now.
What I love, what I'm seeing so far from Drake May is the fact that, you know, the offensive system is not rigid. Hey, you have to do it this way. You have to play like this. Because a lot of times when that first read is taken away from Drake May, he's able to just break camp and go get some yards with his legs. And because he's able to do that, now the defense has to defend him a different way, which allows him those advantageous windows and opportunities to hit the ball deep down the field. So it's because Josh McDaniels is allowing him to be Drake May and not try to be Tom Brady. It's allowing Drake May to ease into his second season, develop more as a QB, and he's starting to utilize all of his skill sets that made him such a promising player at UNC. So I like that the offense is kind of an amoeba-like where it changes from week to week, but also they're allowing him to really utilize all of his skill sets, which we're seeing out there on the field.
And when you talk about Josh McDaniels, the whole coaching staff deserves a lot of credit. Starts at the top, Mike Vrabel. We know he won 3 Super Bowls as a player with the Patriots. It seemed like a perfect fit on paper, but it rarely works out that way, Damien. Gerard Mayo, he was a Super Bowl winning player for the Patriots. He was a very successful coach with the Patriots when you were there. Why is this fit working out so differently?
Well, I think that Mike Vrabel has such an ability to demand the most out of his players, but with the same understanding that his players know it's just to make them better. I mean, I've heard clips from Drake May, and he talks about how hard Coach Vrabel is on him, but it's only because he wants to see him succeed, and it's because he wants the best out of him. I mean, you look at the moment between Vrabel and Drake May on the sideline when Drake May was turning the football over against the Atlanta Falcons, and he just put his hands on his shoulders, and I don't even know what was said. I'm sure it was something of the sorts of, hey, we can't turn the football over and be a team that wins, but you're the right guy for the job. You're better than what you're playing. The team needs you to be better. Just go out, relax, have fun, and play the same way that you've been playing all year. That's the Mike Vrabel way. He trains them at a level to where they're ready for any situation, any football situation, any obstacle that's going to come up in a game. But they also just play with a togetherness, with a confidence level where they know their head coach has confidence in them. They know that they have confidence in one another, and that confidence and that belief. I mean, they've got the players, they've got the talent, but when you have that unwavering belief that you see the Patriots have, I mean, look at the videos in the locker room after the game. This looks like a team that knows that they are where they are because of the work that they've put in and because of the way that they stick together. So I think it's no surprise why Vrabel is having success with this Patriots team right now.
I love what Damien said right there because he's 1,000% correct. But I'll just say the quiet part out loud. An open checkbook in free agency allowed all this to happen. They went out and went crazy in free agency and signed really good players. So you look at this roster compared to the roster he had in Tennessee. Of course, Mike Vrabel is going to go out there and ball out in his first year as their head coach. Because, again, when you have good players, we know this is about Jimmys and Joes and not X's and O's. And they have a lot of good Jimmys and Joes out there on both sides of the ball. This is why a lot of people, Damien included, said in the preseason, or even the offseason before the preseason, now this is a team that can not only probably win the division, but also go to the playoffs for sure because they're that talented on both sides. And I think when you have a coach that understands how to utilize talent, get the most out of talent, and allow that talent to be themselves, you're getting this iteration of a football team that's one of the best in the AFC with a young quarterback, a veteran receiver, some young receivers that are starting to blossom. Think about that, what Damien said, and how he's empowering those guys out there on the field. Think about Kayshon Boutte, what he was his last season at LSU, and what he was entering the NFL. He was an afterthought, and now he's a bona fide stud on that offense. Pop Douglas, another one, just starting to blossom. And on defense, we're seeing all of that talent that they had before mix in with the new talent that they acquired to make this team very good. That's why the Patriots look like a legit wagon down the rest of the stretch of the season.
You guys are both running backs. Damien, is this now Henderson's room after Stevenson missed last week's game?
Well, the writing is on the walls, and as being a guy that played running back for the New England Patriots, and this is kind of what starts to happen after a little bit of time. I mean, we know Ramondre's been in the doghouse with the fumbling issues, and now we're questioning his availability. And with all that being said, they drafted a running back very high in the draft, and a guy in Travion Henderson. Reports coming out of training camp was already that they were head over heels for the guy. His talent, his speed, his explosiveness, his pass blocking, how smart he was, and how he fit in this Josh McDaniels offense. I mean, like I said, the writing is certainly on the walls, but I'm not counting out Ramondre Stevenson yet because they still need that veteran presence on the team and in the backfield because, in my honest opinion, that is the one thing, that's the one department where the New England Patriots lack. Their run game is kind of an afterthought, and they're a serious, legitimate run game away from being AFC championship contenders, but they need that veteran presence of a Ramondre Stevenson who's played in Orchard Park against the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs, who's played against the Chiefs before and had success, and even to continue to mold and shape the young back that is Travion Henderson.
I agree with you, Damien, but he could do it as a backup, right? We go put the fast guy out there, the guy that's more explosive, the guy that can hit the home run from anywhere on the field. And I do like Ramondre Stevenson in a short yardage goal line situation, kind of like what they had a few years ago with LeGarrette Blount. He could be that guy for Travion Henderson. It could be a Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery situation where you lead off with the speed guy that has the ability to hit the home run because now it allows you to play fast offensively and really opens up the field, kind of expands it width-wise in that regard. And once you get in a tight, condensed situation, if he can hold on to the football, that's where Ramondre Stevenson comes in because he does a great job in breaking that first tackle with contact and able to run full forward because of his great pad level. So there's still a role for him, but man, you're slowing down the offense if he's your leadoff guy. I'd rather him be your closer as opposed to a guy that can get out there and really get it going from start to finish in the young rookie Travion Henderson.
Speaking of roles,
I do want to say, hold on, Chris. Hold on, Chris. I do want to say, Emory, you're right. I agree with you. I think it is time ultimately for the conversation to be put to bed. It should be Travion's team. I mean, again, the way that they were talking about it coming out of training camp, we all thought it was Travion's team. I'm just going off of what I've heard Mike Vrabel say. I'm going off what I've heard Josh McDaniels say. And I'm going off the fact of when Ramondre Stevenson has been healthy and available, he has seen the bulk of workload and the bulk of carries for the New England Patriots. That's all I have to go off. But Emory, you're 1,000% right.
We have a former Patriots player here in Damien. We have a Patriots fan and producer Noah. We've got to get to the other side of this matchup, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they're coming off a bye. But Emory still reeling in the injury department. Bucky Irving and Chris Godwin still not practicing. Baker Mayfield only one touchdown his last two games. Are you worried the injuries that they've sustained this year are starting to show themselves on the field?
Not worried at all, Chris and Damien. The reason why I love what I saw last week 2 weeks ago versus New Orleans, because this is the mark of a good team in Tampa. When things are not going according to plan, can you find other ways to win? They needed their defense to go out there and win that game against New Orleans as the offense tried to find some ways to stay on the field and get some points. But the defense really led from the front. So there's the mark of a good football team. I feel like the bye week for them came at the right time because it gives them a chance to stay healthy, number one, but also maybe get back out there and try to retool some things and say, okay, if we can't win this way because of injuries, let's try to win that way. And I feel like because of the bye week, because they're going to be at home, things are going to be looking up once again for Tampa Bay, because we saw earlier in the year, the conversation was like, hey, this team is, playing, they must be living right because they always win in the end. But now they had to win a tough game when things weren't going according to plan, and they found a way to get that done. I think that's a sign of a team that's definitely ready and locked in to go down the stretch and make a serious run in the NFC.
Yeah, I agree with Emory, but you need your horses in the stable. And as we get to the meat of the season, as we get to playoff football, championship caliber football, it's hard to win when you're that depleted, especially at the wide receiver position. And we can talk about Baker Mayfield and how gritty he is, how determined he plays, the fire that he lights to this offense. If we're looking at the end of the season and we're talking about a wild card and they don't have Chris Godwin and they're out all these guys because they're still being bit by the injury bug, it's just hard to have confidence in this team. Do they continue to find ways to win? Absolutely. Do they find ways? One game it's the defense, one game it's the run game, one game it's Baker Mayfield taking over, passing the ball. They find different ways to win, but you have to be concerned if they cannot get healthy come the stretch of the season.
Bucks currently sitting in the 2 spot in the NFC. Pats in the 2 spot in the AFC. The line is 2.5. Bucks favored by 2.5 at home. Emory, start us off with a pick.
I like Tampa in this game. I think because desperation is a stinky cologne, and knowing what's going to happen in the NFC where teams are starting to get hot right now, i.e. the Seattle Seahawks, they got better with the trade deadline. I think Tampa Bay realizes what's at hand, and they need to start continuing to stockpile these wins. I love that they went to their bye with that win over New Orleans. I think they come out of the bye refreshed and ready to go and get one against New England.
Listen, I love Emory. We're both running backs, but we don't always agree. Give me the Patriots. It's just, you got to ride the hot team. The Patriots are the hottest team in the NFL right now. Mike Vrabel, in my opinion, has been the coach of the year in the NFL. Drake May, he's on that MVP trajectory right now. It's him and Josh Allen at the 1 and 2 spot. Again, you look at the emergence of what a guy like Stephon Diggs has brought to this offense. Pop Shada is all of a sudden jumping off the scene. Mac Hollins, Kayshon Boutte, again, looking where he was before, looking at where he is now. This defense has not allowed a 50-yard rusher all season long. Then you look at what Gonzo and Carlton Davis and Jalen Hawkins are doing in the secondary. Listen, this team, they're built for it. They're ready for the moment. They've got the confidence. I'm going with the Pats.
Damien's got the Patriots winning for the 7th straight time. That game, 1 o'clock Eastern on CBS. Our A crew is there. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo will be in the booth. If you don't get an early game, you'll get one of the other hottest teams in the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks, hosting the Cardinals at 4:05.